Hello everyone, Ali with the Home Investors Team Broker 3 Max with my colleague, the handsome Sam.
Hello everyone, how you doing? This is the handsome Sam, SaberiSixRealEstate, and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. Where can they find you, Ali?
I believe I'm at the same brokerage, but you'll find my information down below. My phone number, it's direct, and my Instagram handle as well. That's just about all you need to get a hold of me. How about your information? It is down below, but you want to drop
My
it?
information is down below, but you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and my Gmail, all the same thing, SaberiSixRealEstate. My phone number and my office phone number, and my office is in the description, the address. You can find me anywhere. So,
Like City TV.
City TV, exactly.
Handsome Sam, what's on the
Agenda today? So I thought we can talk about our ideal condos. Earlier in an earlier episode, we talked about our ideal homes. Now I thought I talk about our ideal condos. But before that, let's talk about what's new with our business, shall we?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, why don't you start?
Yes, I will start. So today I was at a condo downtown, and we're planning on bringing this condo onto the market. And we went to take a look at it to see what we're working with here now. It's at Queens Quay in York. It's the Harbor Square Condos. Are you familiar?
Yep. Nice place.
Yeah. Very old, though.
Yeah.
The building is old.
But larger units.
Not the one we're working with. Not the one we're working with.
You should have just rolled with it.
Well, I can't be dishonest for the people.
No, fair enough.
But
he's very honest.
So it's going to be a hard sell. It's going to be a hard sell because the unit is good. It's good. It's not great. It's not okay. It's not bad. It's good. That's the perfect way to define the unit.
Does it need touch-ups? Is that what you mean?
Well, the stove is very old, but not other than that, nothing else really needs a touch up. The issue also is that perhaps I shouldn't. I don't know this for a fact, but I asked around, and the reason the maintenance fee is around $600, $700 is because this building and other developments near it, because they're all the same development. It's the Harbor Square, so it's like 7 different condos. The problem is they're right on the water, like
Right.
I can't convey how close they are to the Lake Ontario. It's frankly the size of a average living room. That's the distance from the outside of the unit. Where you have a parking lot, then you just have the water. That's it. It's waterfront properties. And the issue is the water is now somehow seeping into the foundations of the condos.
Oh, wow.
To the point where the lowest level basements, like below the parking lots, like below P4, it's getting flooded. So what they have to do is they have a generated 24-hour pump that pumps out the water. It's on 24 hours. Like it's on all the time at all times. And the pump is pumping out the water. And that's where the maintenance fee is quite high. So it's going to be
How
difficult.
many square feet? Sorry.
It's about 550 to 600 square feet, I would say. It's going to be a difficult sell. No balcony, by the way. It's going to be a difficult sell because of that. Also, it's going to be a difficult sell because the current person who's occupying the unit is not the owner, it's the tenant, right?
Wonderful.
So, and we need to sell this unit ASAP because we need to close. We need this to close for another unit to close. You know, the dominoes always stack
Well,
up.
you hope the future buyer doesn't see this video then.
It's a good unit. It's a good unit. I mean,
No, it's not about it being a good unit or not. It's just that
if they see this,
the
they'll
desperation
negotiate
of
again.
selling,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
need it to be sold pretty quickly. So any future buyer,
Somehow,
if they know,
well, I never gave
they
the
get
address away,
leverage.
right? Never
Well,
gave I just said.
Harbor Square, so go find a condo there.
Well, no, don't. What it is this is all made up. None of this is actually happening. So if you're watching this, I won't have a listing. But in this made up
It's not Harbor
story,
Square, it's Gibson Square.
exactly. But in this made up story, the issue is that there's a tenanted, and usually when you want to sell something ASAP, what you do is, as we've discussed in the past, you bring it for multiple offers. You list it lower than asking price, and you get a lot of showings, a lot of foot in the door, a lot of people in the door, and you see what you can get. And typically, things go fast if you do that, especially in harder markets. Now it's kind of stagnant market in terms of condos, I would say. And I'm sorry I'm talking too long, but
No, by all means.
I'll wrap it up. But the tenant is a very sketchy individual, and it's got to be hard to work with this guy. And I have to go tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. because that's the only time he has available for me to go take pictures with a photographer. And I have to clean up a bit. I have to talk to him and give him the rundown. Look, we'll give you 24 hours notice. When people come to see this unit, please leave 5 minutes before. We need to put a key in the... I just do all the explanations, take the pictures, get on good terms with the guy. I need to do all that at 7 a.m. tomorrow because the issue is... And it's 7 a.m. on a Saturday. This is being recorded on a Friday. The issue is I asked him what time he's available to meet. He said anytime before 9 a.m. and after 9 p.m. And on a Saturday, I'm not going to spend my Saturday night. I don't care what I'm doing Saturday night. For all I can be doing, I could be home watching a movie. I don't want to necessarily be out in the clubs. It's a Saturday night. I don't want to be out working on Saturday night, 9 p.m.
I don't blame you. That's
so, especially
totally
with the Sketchmeister.
So what's he doing for 12 hours?
He says some horse shit about I run, I meditate. I work. I have some confidential information because I work with BMO. This guy is he's a little cuckoo.
What did you try and get rid of him before? Give him eviction notice?
Our client kind of sprung this on us. We didn't have time to coach him and say, look, these are the proper steps you have to take.
Yeah.
He has cooperated. He has been a good tenant. He has been paying rent. He was sweating bullets. I felt I was interrogating someone today when I talked to him because he was just sweating bullets. I don't think he's on drugs. No, I don't.
You never know.
No, because he's Muslim, but,
Hey, that don't stop the I can tell you, faith is not a restriction to...
That's why, instead of going after 9 p.m., I decided, you know what? I'll just get up early, be there at 7, get my work done. And then, I can do other stuff for the rest of the day and relax after 5 on a Saturday, so. But, yeah, that's what's new with me. What's new with you? You said you were at any feedback on this and also any suggestions and also what you would do and also any of your own stories. You said you had a home inspection today in Milton.
Yeah, so... with respect to you, your hands are kind of tied. What can you really do? You said come at 9 a.m. or 7 a.m. So you got to go when you got to go. That's, you got to do the job.
Just to interrupt, I don't mean any suggestions in terms of that. I have to go, but I've had this before where you're trying to sell a unit where the person occupying is the tenant. And I always try to avoid that situation because it can be a messy situation. Tenants can really fuck you in the ass if they decide to. But
let's watch our language here. This is a PG-13 programming. Thank you.
Sorry about that. But they can decide to screw you over if they want to. And, But, you got to do what you got to do. Hopefully it'll go fine. And, calm him down and, talk to him. You just have to act professionally. And, you have to wish that... You have to hope that somehow you impart some sort of tranquility onto this guy because he was kind of a hectic person, and I feel like he might mess everything up. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so with a person like that, you got to be nice, but give him all the notices, all of the actual landlord-tenant board notices. Give it to him now, so it's very clear, and then probably offer him a month's rent, just to kind of sweeten the deal, to make sure he leaves. Because one of the problems a lot of people are facing right now, sellers, is that tenants are not actually moving out of their units. And with the landlord-tenant board not really holding hearings, and they've lifted the freeze on evictions, but you need to get a hearing in order for that to go through. Essentially, they're all stuck. So evicting tenants is very difficult right now. So you definitely got to brown nose them as much as you can in order to make sure that they're friendly and they play ball with you. Otherwise, you and the buyer and everyone else is screwed. So good luck with that. I'm sure he's seems like an alright guy, but he's Muslim after all. right?
No, but this guy was like his property was like draped in like scripture and like
Oh, geez. Okay.
yeah. So I don't think he was just very fidgety. He was like hiding something. The problem with the unit also is that it's a studio that they've converted into a 1-bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Kind of awkward. Then it's awkward. But we'll do something with it. We'll make it happen. We always make it happen at SaberiSixRealEstate. We always make it happen. When our back's against the wall, we don't fall. So,
Handsome Sam, everyone. Just make sure you say a lot of brother, please. Let's go. Let's do. Let's work with
he was really brothering me a lot. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
They like that, brother.
I'm not gonna fake
Muslim
an accent, but
you don't have to. Just roll that R. Roll that R, brother. Yeah. What's new in my world? Well, the property that we put an offer on last week, we purchased. It was conditional on inspection, and so we inspected the property. Most of the stuff was okay, but we came across something interesting. This house had mouse traps inside, and so during the inspection, I took a picture of the mousetrap. I had the phone number. I called the company, and they gave me the rundown as to what happened in that property. And they came in. I guess they had some small rodent. It was just mice, but there was, I guess, mice in the property. So they laid traps, and they followed the recommendations of the pest company, closed up all the holes and stuff like that. And then they went back about a month later, and there was no signs of mice or anything like that. So I brought it up with the listing agent, and he insisted and said that there was no mice. That was just a safety precaution, just to make sure that mice don't show up. It's and I was like, listen, I've lived in a house for many years. You don't just drop mouse traps for the hell of it, just to make sure.
Unless you're into some kinky shit.
Right. So I said, listen, check with your clients. Please let me know if they had. And I already knew that they had a rodent problem, but he didn't know that I knew. He just thought I saw the traps or their actual feeds. Essentially, they load them up with food, and then if mice exist, mice go and eat it. Then that's how they determine if there's a rodent or whatever it is. Rats, mice, any other insects or rodents. That's how they determine if there's signs of living rodents there. But so he didn't know that I had called and gotten a scoop on what happened in that property. So he called back. He's like, yeah, no, the seller said this was just for precautionary measures. They never had a rodent problem. I was like, okay, sure, no problem. So I played along with it. There's a list of things that we needed repaired.
Sorry to interrupt. The home inspector was obviously there, right? Was it didn't they tell you if there was a mouse problem? Because that's in my experience when I've when we're trying to waive the inspection clause and I'm there with the home inspector. They are, at least the one I use. I think I have a very good person I use, and they always tell me, yeah, these are the signs of a mouse. So beyond the mouse trap, they can look at things in the wall, in the attic, and say, yeah, these are little crevices, these are the rat droppings. Didn't your home inspector you were using clue you in on any of that, or was it your person? Was it the seller's person? Or whose person was it?
It was our home inspector, and he saw the traps, and he had mentioned he saw some droppings here and there, but he's there to inspect the home, not really to check for pests. So he said, get the disclosure from the sellers, and based on what they're saying, you can do a pest control inspection as well. So, like he did mention, he saw some droppings, but he doesn't know whether they're new or old or what actually happened. But, his recommendation was to check with the owners and ask if they had a pest problem in the past, or rodent problem in the past. So when I did call and I asked, they just made it seem like no, there was just for precautions and that's all it is. So eventually, once we kind of figured out everything else that needs to be fixed and addressed, I called the agent. I was like, listen, we spoke with the company who dropped these feeds, or let's just call them the little boxes where the food is traps. Let's call them traps, food traps. And I'm not sure if it's you or if it's your seller, but you're being dishonest. You guys had an issue in 2018. They came in May. They did a follow-up in June. You're telling me there's a precaution, but the company said that they were present in the house and they did pest control inside that home. So why are you telling me it's just precautionary? You're being dishonest, and we don't appreciate that. In your email, you said that you're acting in good faith. However, you're not. And this is the reason why you're not. And so I pinned them up against the wall, and I said, not only are we going to do another pest control inspection, you're going to pay for it, and everything else in the home inspection, you're going to repair. So essentially, he had nothing to stand on because I gave.
So this was today. You said all this after the inspection, right?
So the inspection was on Wednesday, and I said all of this to him yesterday, and then
so the inspection we're at today was the follow up of this with the pest. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, like, I gave him the opportunity to be honest and just disclose to us that they had an issue and that they hired a company. The company came in, they did what they had to do, they fixed the problems. Like, they had a few openings, and then the garage door was open, or it wasn't level, and so there was a little crack between the actual ground and the garage door where I guess mice could squeeze through. And I gave him the opportunity, and then if he was honest, then we probably would have wrapped this up yesterday. But because he was dishonest, it left us with some concerns that, there might be other issues. So we essentially got them to fix all of the issues. The faucet was leaking. There was a lot of caulking underneath the sink. Bless you. There was a bunch of small issues, which normally I would say, listen, I tell my clients, with a resale property, be prepared to do about $3,000 to $4,000 worth of repairs on your own. This stuff didn't even amount to $2,000. It was minimal, $1,500 in repairs, which I would normally just say, you know what, let's wrap this up. This is not a big concern.
That's like, to me, that's the cost of doing business almost.
Right, exactly.
Because, as you said, resale property, I'm assuming this property is not the newest. I mean, it's not probably.
It was built in 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're always going to have that with resale properties. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I had to pin him to the wall because he lied to me, and you're trying to take me for a fool, and I had to tell you, like, that we're not stupid. We did our homework. I just wanted to see how honest you're gonna be with me when I bring this up, and he failed the test, and then they had to eat it. So,
so did you get it on paper?
What?
That they have to remedy? Did you get some sort of amendment? Did you get them?
Oh, absolutely. I drafted the amendment yesterday. We sent it over. They signed it. They're waiting now for us to waive the inspection condition, which he wanted last night as well. I was like, we're not done. We got to check for rodents, and if there's an actual issue, why would I waive the inspection if there's a rodent issue? We need to see what the pest control company says, if there is still a presence of rodents or not. Now, they came in, they checked everything, they checked the feeds and everything. They're like, they're all full. So there's no rodents. And this happened back in 2018. And then so when we checked today, time being 2020, the feeds were still full. There was no signs of rodents or anything like that. So it wasn't a problem at all. It's just that we took the extra precaution by doing the inspection with a pest control company because they weren't forthcoming with the information that we had asked. And so we're going to wrap it up today, and it's going to be successful. And my client is happy overall, He would have been happy with doing those repairs himself as well, or hiring a plumber. But now we're getting them to do it. They paid for the pest control, so he's even happier. So my job is done.
So I had a
instead of
similar
go to
situation.
closing now, that's okay.
I've had a similar situation in the past with mold, not rats. Because to a certain extent, honestly, I give the same speech to my clients. On the buyer side, I say, look, this is a resale home, right? I mean, you'll be very, very hard, it will be very hard to find a resale property that somehow has not had a run-in with rats at some point, especially if you're looking in the basements or, attics,
Right.
especially older properties. And, but the issue for us with a couple of my deals was mold. That's a bigger issue because mold, it's not the case that mold is just the cost of doing business. No, there should not be mold.
Can be problematic, very problematic.
Especially with one deal where my client's father, he was older person and he had problems and battles with cancer, and the mold could actually exacerbate his illness. So, just like you, honestly, and like you, I've never had an experience with dishonest people trying to lie to me about the mold. The only negotiating and pinning people against the wall, as you like to put it, which probably shouldn't do that. Physically, I mean, no, if you do it figuratively. No, you do it figuratively and verbally. I'm just saying for the people.
You say you shouldn't do that verbally either?
No, I'm saying physically, kids, do not pin people against the wall. That's all I'm saying.
This isn't programming for children. They're not watching.
Anyways. The thing that came up with me was negotiating over and bartering over who's going to pay for it, who's going to pay for the remedial costs. And I've been lucky thus far to be able to negotiate on the behalf of my clients for the sellers to pay for it thus far. Now, I'm sure at some point I will have to eat it. And if my buyers want it bad enough, say, you know what, we'll pay for it before closing, or we'll just deduct the amount that it will cost to remedy from the purchase price, because there's a couple of ways you can go about it, right?
Yeah.
The buyer could pay for it, seller could pay for it before and after closing in both situations, or you can knock down the price, right? Equal to the cost of fixing it.
Right.
So, but yeah, these are just, I always, like you, tell my clients, look, this is a house. You're buying a house, not out the box. This is a resale. It's going to have some problems that you have to be okay with, If you truly want this house and want to call it your home, right, you can't be a perfectionist about it, right? You have to, work on your home. You have to be able to, plant a couple of seeds yourself and see them grow in terms of fixing things here and there.
And you're right. This house, otherwise, it's a very nice home. It's actually a very nice home, quite well maintained and taken care of. The owners did a pretty decent job of maintaining the property. And like I said, if it wasn't for this one rodent thing, there was actually not much in repairs or updates. It's just the faucet was leaking, and then whoever did the plumbing underneath the sink did a horrible job. And that in itself, you hire a plumber and you go to Home Depot and you buy the faucet, will run you like less than $500. So that's really the amount of work that the property required. But we got them to do it anyways because, hey, why not? I pin them to the wall, as I said earlier. I like saying that. I don't know why, but
yeah. Anyways, so I thought we could talk about our ideal condos, because in the past we've talked about our ideal homes. So if we were to live in a house and if money was no object, but within bounds of reason, what would be our ideal homes? Now I thought we'd do the same thing on condominiums or ideal condos. Now, let's start. So start with location. Where would your ideal condo be? And let's not just keep it to Toronto. We can keep it to the world.
Come on now. That's
why ideal. This is ideal. This is in your ideal, perfect world. Money was no object. What would you want? And location is important. So where would we start?
As far as way possible from everyone.
If that's we're talking about condos. Typically, condos are not
condos. I think my maintenance crews are vacuuming out and out.
That's just our assistant cleaning up our studio.
Yes.
But No, but my question is why as far as away from everyone?
Because I don't want the noise. I want to just see green and blue. And what I mean by that is just oceanfront and beautiful treetops for as far as the eye can see. And then white on top.
Well, why would there be
Green,
a condo?
white, and blue.
Beautiful. What developer would pick that kind
Never
of...
mind a developer. I'll build my own condo. And just have
okay, fine. Let's just keep it to
100,000
Toronto.
square feet of amenities.
let's keep it to Toronto.
You said my idea. That's my idea. Buy an island in the middle of the ocean. Not in the middle of the ocean. No. I would buy like a parcel of land on one of these exotic islands where there's a lot of beautiful trees and nature and all of that, and then right by the water, I could see the ocean. I can see the white meeting the blue, and the sun somewhere in the distance. And then look to the left, and I got some trees. Okay, let's get back to reality.
So, where in Toronto would you? And let's say
Like,
keep it in Toronto.
Are you done talking, Ali?
No, because you're taking advantage of the rules of the game. So, where in Toronto would you pick?
You said anywhere in the world. Where in Toronto? Existing condo or a new condo that was to be built?
Just like where in Toronto?
No, I'm saying there could be a condo going up near the Bluffs, which might now change.
Is there a condo going?
Not currently, but I'm saying if one was to go up near the Bluffs,
no, there has to.
Also
it has to be.
That.
It can't be like if there's a condo in the Bluffs or if there's a condo next to the CN Tower, which there are actually. You'd be surprised. The Blue Jays Way condos.
In that case, I'd go to Oakville.
You go to Oakville?
I'd go to Oakville, the waterfront in Oakville. Yeah.
Yeah. How far is that from the
downtown? Honestly, I hate downtown.
You hate the
Sorry,
street
everyone
cars.
that lives downtown, but I hate the traffic.
Streetcars.
Streetcars, I absolutely hate.
You're missing out. I'm here for the streetcars.
I hate King Street West. How now you can't drive on King West because of the streetcars or whatever.
You can drive, you just can't park.
No, at some point they had like this pilot program where you couldn't.
There's no
drive.
parking. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
It was no driving. I think between like Yonge down to Spadina, you can't drive on King.
No. Oh no,
Yeah.
you can. You can.
Okay, we can. I don't think we can.
I think I might be wrong. I just
pretty-
remember
I
the
think
program
so.
being you can't park downtown. Like on
No, you couldn't drive. There was a pilot program for a while. You couldn't drive down King between I think it was Yonge and Spadina. Double check.
Yeah, I'll confirm this fact. You go on about your perfect condo.
So, like downtown Toronto is with the restaurants and the shops and all of that stuff. Like I get it, it has its appeal, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't really like it down there. It's too crowded. The streets are horrible and whatnot. I'd rather live in Oakville, where I can still get around in my car, because I prefer driving. And the waterfront there is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And he's surrounded by beautiful luxury homes and lots of parks and just the green space and the waterfront is just absolutely gorgeous over there. So I'd rather live even like south Mississauga, down around there, or perhaps even South Mimico. But probably Oakville. That's kind of the area I'm thinking about. There's a couple of very nice luxurious condos right by the water, and that's where I think I would reside.
Yeah, it's only about parking. You can drive. You could have driven rather.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear to God, at one point you couldn't drive.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever.
So in terms of location, my ideal condo would be downtown because, I mean, if I'm gonna live in the suburbs, why would I ever live in a condo? You know, obviously.
That wasn't a question.
No, I'm just saying my ideal location would be downtown. All right. I want it.
I live in the suburbs. I'm in a condo. What's your point?
You live in. You live in a condo because you are somewhat of you're our Persian Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
You're like this playboy bachelor, so a condo suits you better. You're this business mogul and a playboy.
Stop the nonsense.
No,
let's cut the crap here.
No, you are.
I'm none of that stuff, okay?
A condo suits your personality much better, right?
I'm just a guy working in real estate, trying to make a living.
You're a Persian Bruce Wayne. You're Behnam Wayne. All right? Behnam Wayne.
It's horrible.
But we actually have this friend that we make fun of him. He's like gone into stocks recently, so he's just sending us stock stuff.
No,
not
that guy.
no, not that guy. This guy is like kind of. We make fun of him a bit, and we start calling him Behzad Bezos. This is Jeff Bezos. These are jokes you only get if you're Persian. But anyways, yeah,
that's hilarious. Okay,
but no, I want a condo downtown, but not just anywhere downtown, right? I want it somewhere on the off street. So Charles Street. Are you familiar with Charles Street or St. Mary's?
It'd be better if it was like Wahid Buffett.
Wahid Buffett.
He's the real king of stocks.
Nah, that's true.
Wahid Buffett.
But are you familiar with streets like Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's downtown, but it's not on Yonge. It's not on Spadina. It's not on Bathurst. It's not on King. It's not on Queen Dundas.
It's near Yorkville. Yeah, like Yorkville would be another place, but once again, it's
no. It's not even the fact that it's on Yorkville. I'm just using Charles as an example. It's a small residential street, and literally above Bloor a bit. Yeah, it's a bit above Bloor.
Charles is below Bloor.
Above, as in like going south above. That's what I mean. Like if you're going south, it's above.
Yeah. Okay.
Above, I don't know why people just correlate above with north. Why? Above can
because above is above.
Above can be north.
If you're going down, just below Bloor.
No, it's above is in terms of the fact.
Above.
Look, a client is calling me, but I'm gonna not answer.
If you want.
I'm not gonna answer this because this is actually interesting. No, above is
above.
Irrespective and irregardless of south or north. So yes, but I don't know people immediately attach above with north. I don't know why.
Because you're not going up to downtown. You're going down to downtown.
I'm going up though, from here.
No, because it's south of here. So it doesn't make sense for you to say I'm going up while you're actually traveling south.
So when someone's asking you, hey, how do I get somewhere? And you look down the street and you want to convey that they have to traverse through the street at that direction. When do you say you have to go down this street, or do you say you have to go up this street? Which one do you say? If you're just giving directions, you said you have to go up this street, or do you say you have to go?
I say either or.
Because why? Up and down kind of are independent of the directions, which are south, north, and south.
Right, but this is clearly south of here.
But if you were someone saying from
usually if you're going like left or right, I think if somebody's going south, I would say you just want to go down this way, and if they're traveling up, you just want to go up this way. But I actually think that I do correlate my language up or down based on the direction that they're going. East or west, it doesn't really matter. You can say up or down when you're traveling east or west. When you go north and south, I think most people do say, oh, you just want to go down this way if they're actually traveling south from where they are. Or if they're traveling north, they want to say, just go up the street.
Okay, so when I say up or down, it's always dependent on the literal topography of the street. So if the street is like going up literally, it's not like a flat street, there's an upward bent, I say go up the street. Yeah, or up the hill. If the street's going downwards, I say go down.
Yeah.
But a street could be going downwards, but going northbound, and I'll still say down.
So let's stick to the topography.
Yeah.
York region generally is in higher elevation than Toronto.
Okay, I don't have that. I'm not in the clouds. I don't have that grandeur of a scale. My scale is a much smaller, smaller scale, like more microscopic.
Based on how you.
Okay,
I'm just
when you think about it like that,
words, brother. That's all.
Also think about it like this, right? if you say downtown, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you say, okay, Charles Street is above Bloor. That's what I said, right? That's what you had to
Yes, yes.
So you're saying what's the correct way of saying it? It's down on Bloor, right?
Just south of Bloor.
But if you want, you would say down, right? It's one street down.
I would say go down Yonge Street or go down whatever street.
It's Charles Street.
And you get to Charles.
Okay, but it always...
So Yonge Street would be traveling north. Sorry, Yonge Street would be traveling north and south. So you want to go around Yonge Street to get to Charles. Or you want to go up Yonge Street to get to Bloor.
But you can get to Charles Street by going both south and north. That's why at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
How so?
You
can go, it's south, north or south, yes. If you're on Bloor, then you want to travel south on Yonge to get to Charles Street.
But if you're
if you're like on Wellesley, then you want to travel north on Yonge to get to Charles.
Where our starting point was, which is the way it started was Bloor, like Yonge and Bloor. Yeah. You can both go north and south to get to Charles Street. You can go south, which is the shorter way, or you can go north. Now, this is just a logical point.
Go in his circle?
No, go all the way around the equator and come back from Lake Ontario to get to like Charles Street. I'm saying when you think about it,
you are
listen,
half a retard.
No.
Suggesting that.
This
is ridiculous.
This is not a.
Let's go around the world.
Listen, this is not
very practical.
Listen, this is not a practical point. This is the theoretical point. Theoretically, north and south is relative. That's why I don't understand why above is always associated with north. Like I used to say people, I'm coming down to Richmond Hill, and they will assume I'm coming from like Newmarket or something, right? Because I'm saying coming down to Richmond Hill.
To Richmond Hill?
To Richmond Hill. So they probably think I'm coming from further up north.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, no, when I say I'm coming down to Richmond Hill, I'm only trying to convey that from where I am in downtown, I'm coming to you.
Listen, man, I think I've realized over the past few podcasts, your use of language is not usual. Like you go against how most people actually converse and the language and terms that they use. Like for example, when you say record, you don't even say record. You say press the play button. I was like, you mean the record button? Yeah. Press play. I was like, okay, sure.
That's okay. No, that's a good point.
No, but that's how you talk. And
That's good. That's good.
It's not how other people.
No, it is. No. I'm dying on this hill about the up and
language they use.
Okay.
Just do you do.
Where is Eastern Europe? Where's Eastern Europe,
bro?
Where's Eastern Europe?
Where's Eastern Europe?
Yeah. If you had to give me the countries in the region where Eastern Europe is.
Okay, where are you going with this?
No,
where is it? You can travel both east, and then you can go the other way, traveling west around the globe to get to Eastern
Exactly.
Europe.
So why is above?
But one doesn't make sense, and the other one does.
Why is above associated with north? I don't get it. Why can't above be south? Dude.
What do you mean? Because it doesn't make sense to go the other way.
It does make. It's just not practical, but it does make sense.
No, because it's not practical, it doesn't make sense to do that. I don't know anyone that would go to the Yukon by going all the way south and around the world.
I get it.
To go to the Yukon. It doesn't make sense. So it's not practical. So it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
To use that kind of language.
Isn't China equidistant either way you go? So it's not as if you go, let's say if you fly from Canada to China, I'm pretty sure it's pretty equidistant, right? You go west, you fly westwards, westbound, you'll get there same amount of time, give or take, than you fly.
I don't think you do.
There must be some sort of point in the map where it wouldn't matter each way you go, right? Because it's just equidistant.
Yeah, but you also have to take into consideration the rotation of the planet and the fastest and easiest way to get there.
That's true.
So when the planet is rotating, a lot of you don't just go from A to B like that. It's not a direct line. A lot of the times they travel north this way in an arc because the world is traveling. It's rotating.
Yeah, it's coming to
and then
you.
They come back down, and that is the fastest, most efficient or quickest way of getting to wherever you want to go. Now it depends on the destination. So with China, I think most of the time, they do travel westbound because the world is rotating in the opposite direction.
Unless you have stops over, like you want to go to
Right.
like Germany
Unless,
first.
exactly.
Point
That's the
being,
case.
though, it wouldn't make sense to me to call China, like if you're saying I'm going to China and someone's like, oh, you're going to the east, or you're going, it wouldn't make sense because I can easily get there through the west. Right?
Yeah, if you
know?
live in Vancouver or LA, yes.
No, you don't understand.
I get what you're saying, but it's not practical, so therefore it doesn't make sense to
Dude,
use
we're
that
talking
kind
about Charles Street.
it
Charles
doesn't
Street is.
make
Why does it matter
sense.
if I say
don't
it's
know why
above?
we're actually debating this. It's just that the language doesn't make sense to be used in that manner. And you can go around and talk to anyone, and I think generally most people will agree with me.
So, how would you describe where Charles Street is in relation to Yonge and Bloor? You want to say above? You think that's ridiculous?
I would say it's south of Yonge and Bloor. I would say take Yonge Street south, just travel down Yonge Street, and probably the next block or the next few blocks you'll get to Charles.
The next few
From
blocks? Bloor. Okay. All right, I guess. I just don't think someone will, if I'm like, give me some directions, I'm like, oh, it's just like the first main street above Yonge and Bloor if you go this way. Like if I say above and you go this way, those two in conjunction with another, it should be independent of the southbound or northbound factor. But anyways,
that's how people listen. We have
I'm
north,
telling
south,
you, I
east,
have a
and west.
problem with people.
We have those coordinates in order for people to make sense and to use language in order to get to a certain destination. So when you look at it, Bloor, Charles, people will say, go up Yonge Street to get to Bloor or go down Yonge Street to get to Charles. Because the coordinates also dictate that's the way you want to travel. That's just the way it is.
I also have another problem. We'll get past this. When people say foot pedal, that's redundant. Foot pedal doesn't make any sense. But, because a pedal is a lever activated with the foot. It's within the definition. So
just like tuna fish doesn't make sense. Tuna is a kind of fish.
Tuna fish? I think that doesn't make sense. But anyways, point being,
let's
my
go back
ideal
to condos.
My
Your ideal condo location.
My ideal condo would be not Charles Street because I don't like that area. I mean, I do like the street itself, but it would probably be a street like that, like an off street, not a main street, but downtown nonetheless. That would be my ideal location. Now, you said Oakville, right?
Yes.
You want a waterfront perspective, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Why Oakville? I know it's by the water, but not much happening there.
I don't care for downtown Toronto. Oakville has beautiful, great restaurants, lots of shops.
Oh, that's beautiful restaurants. That's
not beautiful. Sorry, it's got beautiful parks. It's got beautiful scenery, great restaurants, great neighborhoods as well. Nice luxury properties that if I just bored of looking out of my condo, I can go down for a stroll and just pick a neighborhood. And I like looking at homes. That's something I enjoy doing. Even when I live with my parents, I would sometimes go for a walk and just look at the different homes in the area. And
little as you realize, the homeowners were calling the police. Like, he's back again. He's just staring into our house. Please, we're scared.
They could have. I don't know.
But you should get into real estate then.
You don't say. Wow. Great suggestion.
But so let's talk about the lobby. What kind of lobby finish do you want? Now, there's a lot of lobby finishes. The new modern ones are very minimalistic. You see a lot of cubist type of architecture. It's not classical. It's just efficient. A lot of white, a lot of black. That's it. Modern art, and more so, once again, like minimalist. It's not busy in any sort of sense. It's not glamorous. It's not glitzy. Then you have, your more budget. You have your budget concierge areas / lobbies where it's just whatever they can put together. And then you have your more classical places where it's a marble floor, is almost like you're in the lobby of a hotel. You might have like a twirling staircase going up. You probably have a waterfall, like a chandelier. And obviously these are
a lot of molding and all of that other crap. Sorry, I don't know if you like that stuff.
These are not like, it's not like either it's like one of these ones, right? It's like there's a lot in between, like a lot of mixtures, right? But what's your, like, in terms of lobby, what do you want out of a lobby? What do you want to see? Do you care about a sitting area with bookcases and books? And what do you want?
Less is more. A sitting area would be nice just for
Is that what you tell the ladies? I'm kidding.
Wow. Homeboy has a girlfriend, so he thinks he can throw low blows as if.
And then I'm kind of loose in this one. I'm sorry. I'm just tired. I feel like when we record in the mornings, I'm more professional than when we record on a Friday afternoon. But
we should do more Friday afternoons.
No, it's unprofessional.
This is the better side of you.
This is unprofessional.
Uh-huh.
But less is more.
We're having fun. It's
less
all
is
good.
less is more.
Less is more.
Unless you're dealing with the ladies, then more is more. But
yeah. So setting area is nice. That's great. But like all of the molding and stuff like that, it's a waste in my opinion. And it requires more dusting, more maintenance, and that just causes expenses to go up. I prefer just something clean, contemporary, modern, white, black, gold, those colors, and just very simple and plain. That's just my style. Like even those condos that I'm talking about in that area, they are a little bit older, so they have a lot more molding. They have a lot more of that classical finishes and all of that stuff. I would just renovate the entire place. I would gut it all out and make it a nice, clean, contemporary, like modern space. With if it was like a loft style and it had a staircase, it would be floating stairs with like glass railing or something like that. And then just very plain, simple. Like just go look at like Spectre Harvey. I don't know if you ever watched that show. What's it called? Suits. It's a crappy show, but I've watched a few episodes. He's got a nice condo, something like that, just to give you an idea.
You know what I was thinking about the building, and since we're talking about the lobby, there's a particular kind of lobby I don't like at all, which is most often associated and conjoined with these types of buildings, these types of condominium projects, which is the resort style condos. You know which ones I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. The most primary examples I can think of is the Beverly Hills condos, Yonge and 16th Avenue, and also another one on Dufferin, Lawrence. You know those buildings right at Lawrence and Dufferin.
Oh yeah. They're
resort style, and what resort style means is exactly what it sounds like. They try to literally replicate the architecture and feeling and the style of a resort, right? And you might like, well, how's that any different? But when you're in a resort, in a resort, like in the Richmond Hill condos, the Yonge 16th, and I've done deals in there. We've sold a couple of one unit, and I've rented a couple of units there. But you walk down the hall, it's almost like you're going to a massage room at a resort, and that's the entrance to the pools. You're going to your hotel room. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't want to feel like I'm at a resort. Why would I want that? And that condo is weird too, because as the shops, as like a massage parlor once again, a nail salon. Like when you walk into the elevators, like why is that shit there? It's bad design, man.
Condos that have stores on the ground level, I'm not a fan of.
No, I don't like that, because when people say that, they might get a little confused. We're not talking about mixed commercial residential.
I don't like mixed commercial residential.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I don't like them here. I don't mind them downtown. Downtown, it makes sense. Any developer, although you'd be surprised. Well, when I say you, I'm talking about the collective, not just you. But you might be surprised too. Well, you just say I use words differently, so I have to clarify. But
not everything.
People would be surprised because there is actually a couple of new developments that don't have mixed use. So it's not as if it's like McDonald's and Winners at the bottom and then residential at the top. But these are brand new ones. These are like built as of like last year. And I thought that was a bygone era where you just have strictly residential. I thought that we would never see that again. But these new ones, I'm surprised. Like,
I think downtown it probably doesn't make sense even more because there's already so much crap in and around the area. For you to go downstairs,
I wouldn't say,
or across the street is almost the same.
No, I wouldn't say that because if anything, downtown they're way more incentivized, the developer and builder. They're way more incentivized to do mixed use.
In terms of incentive by the city, that's different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
Well, that's the only one I'm talking about, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I meant like in terms of as an end user moving into a condo, perhaps it might be a little bit more convenient for you to not have to change out of your PJs and just go downstairs and do your groceries or whatever, or dry cleaning. But because there's so many restaurants and shops and dry cleaners and everything else so close within the vicinity, that for me, I would almost prefer that there's no commercial on the ground floor. It's all a residential building because, odds are the dry cleaners, the coffee shop, and the restaurants and places I want to eat are within less than a 5-minute walk. Almost most condos have all of that stuff within a minute or less walking distance. So that's why I'm saying it almost makes less sense. But yes, the city does incentivize builders to have all of that stuff built into their developments.
And the city does incentivize it, but also it just makes monetary sense because the builders, they can charge a premium for that commercial space downtown, right? It's on street level, walking traffic all the time. McDonald's are open 24 hours. Winter's not 24 hours, but it's just like downtown street traffic, street level access to your commercial space. I mean, it just makes perfect sense for them to do that.
Yeah, but here's the other side of it, is that things can get messy when you have 2, 3, 4 different condo corporations and who's responsible for those common areas, because it's going to be used by both the residents and the commercial. And not oftentimes, I can't say oftentimes, but I know one particular case for a very well-known condo in North York that a lot of those expenses were it became the responsibility of the residential corporations, the residential condo corporations.
The Emerald City?
No, Emerald is at Yonge
Shepherd, the green one.
I'm talking about across the street. The probably same thing. Hallmark, yeah. So it's like the residential units, their condo fees were covering partial or a lot of the commercial space and office space in there. So it's like, for example, you don't have parking at Hallmark. You don't have visitor parking. But Whole Foods has parking available for their customers, right? So if you park there, you either pay or you go into Whole Foods, you do your groceries or whatever, and then they timestamp your or they comp your parking. Now, not back then, but a few years ago, I was made aware that parking was being paid for by the residents of the building and not the commercial space. So, all right, guys, we had a technical issue there, but we're going to wrap this up. Handsome Sam he's all out of words, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification, like this video, comments, and follow us on our respective social media accounts. All the information is down below. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.